What is up, everybody? You're checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and today we are checking our Attitude Year Series recap. 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 15. In this series, we're covering season 2, which is the year 1999. If you want to check out season 1, which covers 97 to 98, go in the archives on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. All the episodes are up. You can check them out. But today, we are talking about WWE Raw is War from March 15th, 1999, live in San Jose, California. And the WWE champion, The Rock, comes out. Rock says, I propose two options for you, Stone Cold. You can find the train tracks and wait for The Rock midnight special to ease your troubled mind. Or option two, you come to WrestleMania and I will kick your monkey ass over God's green earth. I will prove I am the best WWE champion there ever was. The Rock has asked for answers. Vince, you bring your Rudy Poo ass to the ring. Vince McMahon comes out. Vince says, you need a reality check, Dwayne. After all I've done for you, what about what I did for your dad? What my father did for your granddad? That WWE title is mine, and by God, we're not going to lose this to Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is family. I think of you like my son Shane. Through three generations, my family has looked out for yours. To protect your family, I bring in Paul Wight. He won't be a family member, but he'll provide protection. He's helped you keep the title, and he will make sure you walk out champion. That's when Paul Wight comes out. Paul Wight says, what do you mean? I'm going to take a great big check and cash it on his punk ass and give you the change. Vince says, you were brought here to do a job, and I don't like the temper in your voice. And you will do what I say as long as I cash those checks. Vince then slaps Paul Wight, who grabs Vince and gets in his face. Vince says, no, that's what these people want. Tonight, you both are going to be functioning as a unit against Mankind and Stone Cold. Now shake hands. And Paul Wight and The Rock shake hands. So Paul Wight getting slapped by Vince McMahon. Vince telling him that I hired you to protect our family. Jerry the King Lawler interviews people who are building something around the ring. It looks like a new table. We have the Intercontinental Championship on the line. The champion Val Venus defending against the Road Dogg. And surprisingly, Road Dogg has been injured. He comes back and he ends up hitting Val Venus with a DDT to become the new WWE Intercontinental Champion, which was a big surprise to me. After the match, Billy Gunn comes out and hugs the Road Dogg. And pretty much DX has a title right now. The Rock tells Paul Wight backstage he doesn't need his help against Stone Cold and Mankind. DX is seen celebrating backstage. And Shane McMahon, the European champion, comes out with Vince McMahon, and he's going to be taking on the Legion of Doom, which is Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe dressed up as LOD. Shane says, beating you, X-Pac, at WrestleMania 15 will be as easy as 1, 2, 3, kid. So Shane just attacks Patterson and Briscoe. He hits them both with the European title and pins both men. And then after the match, Vince and Shane see the Titantron where we get footage of the Ministry of Darkness outside of Vince's house. Undertaker says, once she comes home, I'll be waiting. Vince calls someone and tells them to get to his house. So they're waiting. Undertaker is waiting on someone to get home. We're not sure who her is, but we will find out shortly. Jim Ross and Dr. That Steve Williams come out, and Jim Ross has his own ringside booth, and he sits in front of Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole. So interesting stuff here, seeing Jim Ross and Steve Williams with their own table here. The tag team champions Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett with Deborah defending against Public Enemy. They get the win after Jeff Jarrett hits Rocco Rock with a guitar shot, and Owen nails a flying splash. Owen and Jarrett retain the titles. Vincent Shane McMahon tells Sergeant Slaughter that The Undertaker has gone to his home. Slaughter thinks he's joking. And then The Undertaker calls Vince McMahon and says, it's almost time. It's almost 10. Do you know where your family is? Vince tells the corporation they can do something tonight to take out the Ministry of Darkness for whatever Undertaker has planned. So we have a Hard Times match, Mideon taking on the Big Boss Man. Big Boss Man sends Mideon into the cage, and then the Corporation walk out. The Corporation attack Mideon, and Vince McMahon says, Undertaker, here's your eyes, Mideon. I'm going to give the Corporation the word to destroy him. What's your answer? The Undertaker goes on the Titantron, and he says, take him. They live to die for me. You do what you need to do, and I will too. And then the feed goes off as a car drives up. Vince tells Shane, keep calling, keep calling. So Vince and Shane are afraid. Undertaker's waiting for someone, and that person's showing up. Jerry Lawler shows up at the Playboy Mansion with security. Sable is sitting on a couch, and she shows him around the Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner hugs and kisses Sable. She takes Jerry Lawler into the grotto, where Jerry Lawler jumps in, and then Jerry Lawler gets kicked out. So funny segment there. Sable then comes out, and she has some pictures that she says she asks people if they want to see them. However, if they want to see them, they'll have to pay for it. Tori comes out, and Tori says they can see me for free. You made things clear. You're just a woman, and I refuse to stand in your shadow 1 minute longer. And then, unlike you, I'm willing to show people free of charge. At WrestleMania, I'm willing and able. Sable says, I want it all, and I'll put on the map with a Sable bomb. And then Tori strips as Sable looks upset. So, really nothing good here. Police search around the McMahon house. We get a Mean Street Posse promo where Roddy talks about Willie Green and living in the mean streets of Grants. We have the Hardcore Championship on the line. The Hardcore Champion, Hardcore Holly, defending against Billy Gunn here. And Billy Gunn ends up nailing a famouser to Hardcore Holly on a chair, and Billy Gunn becomes our new Hardcore Champion here. This is surprising because Road Dogg and Billy Gunn started a switch here. Road Dogg was the former Hardcore Champion in the Hardcore title picture, and now he's the new Intercontinental Champion. Whereas Billy Gunn was in the Intercontinental title picture, but now he's Hardcore Champion. I wonder why they did this. Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe tell Vince McMahon that police haven't seen anything. Undertaker's voice comes over and he says I will be her father figure. And then we see a burning Undertaker symbol on the front lawn of the McMahon family house. Triple H comes out and Triple H says, too bad for China. Kane, your fire was meant for me. Get in this ring and feel my fire. You're gonna burn, bitch. Kane comes out and Kane and Triple H brawl outside. Vince McMahon comes down and tells Kane he needs his help. Kane hits a jumping clothesline. Kane takes off the mask, and it's the Undertaker. Undertaker grabs Vince McMahon. The lights go off, and he says, anytime, anywhere. So Undertaker is actually here in the arena, screwing over Vince McMahon here. And we come to our main event, the WWE Champion, The Rock and Paul Wight versus Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mankind here. This is a decent match with a lot of action back and forth between all four men. The end comes when all four men brawl. Stone Cold slams The Rock onto the announce table. Paul Wight chokes Mankind with a cable wire. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin hits a double fist to The Rock off the railing through a table. And Stone Cold has the advantage of The Rock going into WrestleMania. A decent episode of Raw. Undertaker is constantly manipulating Vince McMahon, scaring him, messing with his head. And that was pretty much the basis of this episode, was Vince trying to figure out what was going on with The Undertaker. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube. Search the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell because new stuff comes out all the time. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe and stay uncensored.